Stress and pressure is not the same thing. You know what I mean? Because you got to understand, what does stress do? Stress. Think about everybody who is stressed. What happens to them when they're stressed out?
Hair
right?
falls out.
All types of stuff, right?
Health conditions,
right? But also they don't look at things from a positive mental attitude perspective either. They look at things from a negative perspective. But when you're pressured, you bring it on. You're ready for the challenge. You're ready because you know that makes you better. You know. So to me, but that's what happens with what diamonds. How is diamonds made? It's cold.
Can you turn on the makeup air for some heat, please? The makeup air for heat, please.
Yeah.
So pressure comes from God, and what it does is it make diamonds, and you're bringing a positive mental attitude to the pressure, and so it actually transforms you. Stress, on the other hand, is almost like self-inflicted.
Correct.
I'm going with a negative mental attitude. I'm creating the stress with these life situations.
Yep. You got to try to just take a step back.
Yo, that distinction is powerful. That helps me a lot. Like, take a breath and be like, oh, I guess I'm not falling. Because on my head, I'm like, I'm stressed. I'm going to fall apart. My hair is going to fall out. It already is. And my kids are going to hate me. My wife's going to hate me. They already do. And all sorts of other shit is going to, the world's going to tumble. Mm-hmm. And you're like, actually, man, you're under some pressure. And it seems like you kind of got it in a little bit of a headlock, or at least trying.
Yep. Just got to figure it out.
That's probably, like, you think about Elon Musk, right? Like, I admire Elon. I've been a big Elon supporter on this podcast. I've been saying buy his stock.
We see that.
Yeah. I keep bringing him up. I mean, I always say this on the podcast. Who the fuck else is trying to go to Mars? Right? There's NASA. They're trying. But this dude on his own seems like he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Who else has actually said, let's fix the environment and put battery cars out there? Like, that transforms wars. Saudi Arabia, all this drama, Iran. Like, he's fixing a lot of that shit over the next 50 years. No. So I admire the man. And I look at him, I'm like, I'd love to be like Elon, but that scares the shit. Like, can you imagine if you were Elon? Like, I feel like the world's on your shoulders or something like that. But I'm starting to wonder if he looks at things very differently than how I look at things. Maybe more from a stress versus pressure distinction.
Well, he's also not, he can't be doing it alone. I mean, at the same point, he's surrounded by his own network and his own crutches.
That's true. If he was trying to, isolation would be decimation.
And he is out there, I'm sure, taking all the accolades, but there's probably a big network of people that are just like, I mean, obviously he can't launch. I'm sure he doesn't know the engineering to launch a rocket into space.
Here's the thing: you need a visionary, and that's what he is. There's a difference. A lot of people don't know there's a difference, and this is from the 5 years of me. I'm an observer, so there's I'm realizing about a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs are visionaries, but they're not good leaders. Yeah. Two totally different things. Yeah. And because a leader knows how to execute. Some people, now visionary, they can paint the vision, but they can't execute it right? So I'm not saying he's neither, maybe, or he's both, but what you just said is accurate. So he has a lot of people around him who can execute what he needs to be done because he's a entrepreneur. He's a visionary.
And we know in this country, in this world, that there's a fine line between visionary and quack. And I'm not saying for real, but some people.
Kanye West.
There you go.
I don't know how you look at him.
No, for real. Come on, guys. He is a legit Madonna level
performer
type of musical artist.
Sure.
Am I wrong?
Well, I haven't compared the two, but sure.
Something like
popular
that.
Out there.
No, but his music. Do you like his music?
No.
Zero.
Not even Chick-fil-A on Sunday. That's good.
I mean, it's okay. Yeah,
College dropout.
No.
College dropout. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's fair. That said, how I believe. Okay, wait. So anyway,
but that
go back to the point of visionary.
Correct.
Taste.
Was it?
I don't like
Life
the Beatles.
of Pablo was all right.
I said it.
Yeah.
So I don't like the Beatles. I'm more of a Monkees fan. The Monkees were put together as just actors to make good on the Beatles and how popular they were. It's not that I don't like the Beatles. I appreciate what they did. I appreciate what Conde, the talent of these musicians.
Correct.
But I have preferences.
Yeah.
And subjectivity.
But your point is visionaries and quacks basically walk a thin line together.
Yeah.
They're like riding a unicycle right down that line, and you tip either way off that unicycle. You're a quack or you're a visionary. I think that's true. I agree with that.
Right.
And the distinction of visionary versus leader. Well, let's go back. So, like you're saying, Elon's not doing it all alone. I guess like there's a certain cojones. You know what I mean? Like he's got some balls. Like part of his story. He started PayPal, right, and made several $100 million from PayPal. His story is this: he's got 5 kids. He said, "I put all my money He's like, I figured I'm going to roll the dice. I put all my money into Tesla, probably, I'm guessing $500 million. And he's like, and I asked my brother to provide for my family what their life needs are, you know? I'm like, get the F out of here that this dude did that. You know what I mean? It is crazy, isn't it?
What did I tell you earlier? What did I tell you when you talk about trades?
What?
The mindset, the mindset of most people that's doing trades, which is doing high risk, high reward. Absolutely.
Yep. Oh, traders?
Which is in general, like a lot of people who feel that way, it's a high risk to do that, but they know it gives them a high reward.
Correct.
But the difference between being you're a visionary with leadership ability to bring people along, to believe in what your vision is. Right. And that, I think that'll be a difference between some one-off crazy ideas. I'll mention our president. He kind of has to have people follow him, like Space Force, for example. Great idea, sir. And we're going to have a Space Force. Whether it is a great idea, that's subjective as well. And Kanye, that's just a bad example. But the fine line is if you can bring people along as a leader to at least buy into it and try to prove out how something becomes something. Elon's done that, right? So he's a visionary and a leader to be able to do that. And that's different than also we were talking about management versus leadership, right? Correct. Telling people what to do, like a coach or whatever, is being a manager. And things that happen now, and I don't know if this is who Elon really is, but a lot of CEOs out there today talk about how being a manager or being a leader really depends on you're willing to hire people smarter than you. You're willing to have sometimes you put your ego aside. You're able to listen and listen to the people around you, and you're able to be empathetic, whether that's to people, your consumers, the customers, whoever it is, that with some variety in there.
All of that's great. You got to add one more to that. Yeah, servitude, willing to serve. Servitude is the biggest thing, man. Is when it comes to the type of leadership now. You know what I mean? So you're on
I feel like all of those have to fall under servitude. I think they all kind of like listening to other people. Yep. That's kind of serving. Empathetic, that's totally serving. Hiring people who are smarter than you is almost like you're serving them in a way.
No ego about it. Yeah.
Right, no ego. So, but to go back to I was thinking about this. Like, so, I'm afraid with all the shit going on in my life right now. I'm afraid. I've also got I feel like a clock ticking, which is not healthy to think about, because I've got some savings left. We're not earning an income. I took over this business and it was losing money. So I was like, should I close it or should I try and resuscitate it? And I've decided to resuscitate it, and we'll see how it goes, God willing. And so, but then I looked at Elon. I've been looking at him a lot. I'm like, yo, I'm scared about what's going on here, but like, look at that guy. I mean, that scares the shit out of me to think, he thinks that big and he's doing those kinds of things. So like, it helped me put my fear in perspective a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm scared here, but then I look at him, I'm like, that scares me even more. And so giving me this idea of a distinction between pressure and stress was a pretty big insight for me.
Oh, well, I'm glad I was able to help out and get you that for free. That's good.
Oh, really? You know
Next one's going to cost.
That's the whole point of this podcast, is for Amr to get free advice.
Oh my God, you've uncovered me, you sons of bitches.